Not here either. Hello. Hello, everybody. I am Tiffany. The saga continues this Sunday, where Tiffany comes from a galaxy far, far away to hopefully finish a Star Wars quilt, where it has been her nemesis. Not really, but we're going to pretend it was, where it was so hard to come up with a design to build this quilt. Now Tiffany will finish putting this quilt together today because it needs to get done. Anyways, I thought I'd be silly because, the saga continues. I mean, there's so many episodes of Star Wars and TV shows now and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, Kim is here, Lois, Mama J, Sherry, Karen, Tracy, Aldea, Cheryl, Diane, Sharon, Faye, Jeanette, Joyce, Donna, Dawn, Vicky, Judy, Paula, Teresa, and so many more. Hello, everybody. It's Sunday, where I shall sew up the Star Wars quilt today. So I have more than this done. We just put this on the wall. The rest of the strips are here, but I do need to cut from this and piece this one for in between this row and that row up above it. So I need something in between there because I did the black with the Darth Vader in between the other rows down here and made a panel piece, which I'll show you because you'll see once I get to it. But right now I'm just going to cut this fabric 6 inches, four strips, 6 inches each. That will be what's going to go above and below this, and then I shall seam the whole thing together. So we'll see how easy that is in a minute. I'm going to lay this out nicely on my mat and then grab some cutting tools, like a rotary cutter and a ruler, a big ruler to make big cuts. Oh, we were told that Connecting Threads has a sale, an end bolt sale. So you might want to head over there and check out what they got. And Scotty put a link in. All right, we're going to do 6 inches and we're going to cut 4 strips. This is going to be a long quilt. I don't know if I want 6 inches. Well, I'm going to do it anyway. Screw it. That's 6. Right? Yep, that's 6. Yeah, it's going to get a 108 backing because it's going to be long. It's only like 72 inches wide, but it's going to be tall. But I don't think it's going to be that tall. It just fits. We'll see. We'll see. If I make it too tall, then I'll just fix it. Come on, right there. Thank you. And one more. I don't know. I was just guessing how much I need. We're going to do this anyway. All right, let me put that there and this here. I got 4 strips. Yep. I wish I had Ewok fabric to go with this. I like the Ewoks. All right. Yes, they are cute. I'm going to stick these right sides together and then piece them and then cut them to, I don't even know because I forgot the number already. Which direction is that facing? This way? No, this way. Right? Let's see. Looks good to me, right? No, wrong. Whatever. I don't think it's directional. Oh, I was just trying to see, but I don't think it's directional. I think they're all randomly different. Move that out of the way. So those two together, I'll cut the selvage off once they're sewn. And then sew these two together. Oh yeah, Star Wars is upside right and upside down, so it doesn't really matter then. Okay, look at me figuring things out. There's some snips. All right, I'm gonna cut this selvage off real quickly, like. No, it's not. They're quarter-inch seam. Quarter-inch seam. Throw that in the garbage. And then I'm going to finger press for now because I really don't care. Maybe I'll put it on the top. That way the whole thing gets put together. But either way, we need to sew the rows together that I have created. We got Yoda upside down, right side up next to each other, though.
That's funny.
Half of a head there and half of a head there. So I want one between that section, I think. No, this section. I want it between the two, bottom and top. Or not. All I know is I wanted two. Maybe I'll just put it on the top and bottom. Let's put this on the wall so you guys can see some of it. No, I got it. All right, so if these go directly next to each other, it is busy. It's a busy quilt, by the way. These can go directly next to each other, honestly. What do you think? And then just put that other fabric on top and bottom only?
Top and bottom what?
Of the whole quilt. Watch, you'll see. Give me a second to adjust this to see
okay, so
how.
Instead of putting a medium in between them.
Yeah. Have them touching.
I see where you're going.
Ouch, that hurt.
Do you have any tips for left-handed quilters?
Tips for left-handed quilters? Just get yourself a left-handed rotary cutter. That's about it. Other than that, and left-handed scissors. But some people that are left-handed cut with their right hands with scissors, because my daughter is left-handed and she does her scissor cutting and all that kind of stuff with her right hand. But writing-wise, she does left hand. So then it would be this piece and then another black piece. Yeah, I think I'm just going to put it on the top and bottom only. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I don't have a lot of wall space for this as a whole. So, yeah, I'm going to attach two of these on each, one of these on each side of this, and then attach this and this and that and that. And then I have one more row to add to the bottom, and then I'll put the other Star Wars on the top and bottom to create its full length. That's what I'm going to do. This is the general idea. I did get all those pieced together. It's all wonky. There's no direction to it. The only thing directional on this is this fabric and this Boba Fett and Darth Vader and the Fighter Squadron, whatever fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and grab these two and put them right sides together and sew this really long seam. And then add one to the bottom. I think it's all 72 inches. I think that's the number that I cut everything to. I could actually probably just do that on the sides too, you know that? That way it's a little bit wider for its length.
Yeah.
And it'd be a very giant, almost queen-size quilt. Hopefully you guys are all having a lovely Sunday. I managed to quilt a whole quilt this morning. And then I made binding for 5 quilts and then prepped 5 tags, but I have to embroider those. And then I can put everything together on 5 quilts. I've been a crazy quilting lady lately. I go between client quilts and my own, client quilt and my own. Sometimes I'll do 2 of my own and then 1 client quilt. So I got 5 done out of my 32 quilts. And I have backing made for like 6 more. Okay, that seems to be longer than that. I'm gonna trim that off real quick. My eye doctor said I can get, what are they called? I'm gonna get bifocals, but because I don't want to wear my glasses 24/7, progressive lenses is what they recommended, but I don't have the money for progressive lenses, so we're gonna go with just regular bifocals for me, and I'm probably gonna try to change my cat eye glasses to my new prescription with the bifocals in it, because they're the ones that are wider, and it's more easier to have bifocals in a rounded lens than any other. So all right, now I'm gonna put this on this side. I just have to make sure that I'm putting it the correct way. Nope, not that way. Yes, that way. So these are the black is 6-inch strips of the Star Wars thing. And then the centerpiece is as wide as these strips because I only got 3 of the pieced block strips worth because I didn't want to cut into the extras fat quarters that I had left over last week. Because I still want to make another Star Wars quilt with a totally different pattern. Because I still have lots of, fabric left over, a bunch of fat quarters and all this yardage. So I definitely want to utilize all the fabric eventually. Probably won't get to it right away. But I will eventually. Uh-oh, something's happening. Oh, it's a bobbin tangle.
Yeah, it sounded weird there.
Yep, it is a bobbin tangle. You know, when you get to the end of the bobbin, sometimes it spins too fast on these faster machines, and then it tangles itself up inside of it, and it gets stuck.
Do you have any ideas for an all-blue quilt, double or full size? About 12 shades of blue to use.
Hunter Stars look good in all one shade. Any quilt looks good in all one shade of color. I don't know. Lone Stars look good using all the same shade. All right. Other than a Lone Star. Gosh, there's so many different style quilts you can do. I would say find a pattern. Cozy Quilt Designs has tons of patterns to choose from that would look good with all one color throughout the whole thing. Can you turn an iron on?
How's your baby clothes quilt turn out?
The baby clothes quilts, plural, are done. They're not, the quilts are not quilted yet, but the tops are done. I'm still trying to find backing for the quilt. I have backing for the baby one that I made for the kid, but the mama's quilt, I need to find something for that. And I was looking for a cool like sheet, something awesome, but so far I have not found one. So I'm probably just going to settle on getting a 108, but that's okay. I'll still look for a sheet, I'm just going to do it because it's easier. I'm just going to be here for a moment. Sorry, guys. I'm just putting some water in my iron since I like steam.
Mine's ready to go.
All right. Come on.
Ready and willing. Fire.
This fabric is not very pliable. Is that the word? And when it's kind of stiff because it's got that glow in the dark stuff on it. Of course, I've had other fabrics that were stiff too. Come on. Oh, Scott was telling me a lot of you don't mind the progressives. Well, I'm not going to do it anyway because it's too expensive, but the lady told me it takes a while to get used to it. But Scott's mom has progressives, so I put them on my face just to see, and I could tell the difference of the more reading glasses part on the bottom and the regular on the top. I could tell, I could see it. Her prescription obviously isn't my prescription, but I at least tried them on to see if it was something that would annoy my face. But I think I'm just going to get the bifocals because I don't want to wear my glasses 24/7 because that annoys my face. That's why I only put them on when I need them. I'm not one of those. Plus, I can afford the bifocals. But yeah, I don't want to wear my glasses 24/7. I'll deal with my blurry vision, and when I drive or when I, have even blurrier vision from my MS problems, then I usually just put my glasses on for that day, or if I have trouble focusing. But on a regular, I don't like to wear them 24/7 because it annoys me around my ears and on my nose and causes nerve pain. So it drives me nuts. Heck, even having a hairband in my hair drives me nuts. All right, so here's this row. I'm going to attempt to stick it to this right here. Just like this. For now, it'll stay. Really? Yeah, well then it's a good thing I'm not getting progressives. Then I'm just going to stick with the bifocals. All right, now I need to attach this to that, or I can attach it to that. Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to attach it to here. Nah, I got it. These are really long seams. Yeah, leave it on. I'm going to iron as I go because it's getting big quick. The rows are 12.5 inches, and then obviously this is now bigger, and then the section with the panel is also pretty big. Well, right now it's 72 wide. Length, I have no idea yet because I couldn't get an accurate measurement until it's all pieced because of the way it was hanging on the wall, but it's going to be somewhere around 90 something. It's going to be long. It'll be perfect for a bigger bed. And I think I'm going to go all the way around it with that other Star Wars fabric with a 6-inch border.
All
And
people.
yeah, instead of what was I going to say? Instead of just having it only on the top and bottom. That way it finishes it completely off, I think. Depending on it. I want it to be an equal height versus width kind of thing, if that makes any sense. I don't want it to be too long for a 72 width. You know what I'm saying? I do got to say, it was fun to make the blocks for this. And again, you don't have to do Star Wars for this. It was a 6-inch, 2 6-inch squares, 2 4.5-inch squares, and 2 4.5 by 2.5, and then 2 6.5 by 2.5. And if you go to last week's video, it shows how to put it together. All right, this edge is too long, so I'm going to straighten it now. It's only like 1/4 of an inch. Up, right there. Grab a cutter. Again, I didn't fully measure everything because I didn't know how wide I wanted it to be, so it might be off center by a millimeter here, but whatever. Okay. Now we're just going to lay this here and grab the upper one, and then we'll press. Come on. All right. Now to sew it down. Whew. I'm sweating already, and I just took a shower. I took a shower so I wouldn't smell for you guys, you know, because, you know, smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision.
Well, I was ironing and I got all stinky, and then I went outside and did my other stinky thing that I do, and then I came inside and I was like, oh, I'm gonna eat dinner and then take a shower because I really stunk. I probably didn't really stink that bad, but to myself I did. So I was like, I need to take a shower. I need to be fresh and clean just in case the smell-o-vision works and one of my fans smells me. I've been really busy all day today, except for my nap. But that's kind of being busy too, you know, busy sleeping. Oh, thank you, Barbara. You didn't have to do that. That's so sweet. I shall put it towards my bifocals. So that I could see all the mistakes I'm actually making, because I can't see as well as I think I can see. Match the two ends up. Okay, let's press this towards the panel. Oh yeah, this is going to be hard. You can turn the camera if you want to. I'm going to be here for a second.
Do you have a tutorial on a Bargello quilt?
I do have like a 6-video tutorial on an unfinished Bargello quilt. The top is done, but the Oh, I want it towards. All right, let's put this whole thing up here. I want it towards there because there's more seams this way than there is that way. So let's very carefully, like, no, I didn't quilt it yet. It's actually still hanging in the closet. And that was a long time ago. The video footage is really shoddy. I could probably try to remake that one in the future. Right now I got a lot of work I got to get done though, so I don't have time for that, but sorry, I'm just pressing everything towards the black fabric, even though it doesn't matter because it's all dark fabric, but it's less seams that way, so there's less bulk pushing it that way. All right, adjust. Finish pushing it back. It's bigger than my ironing board, so I have to adjust. Thumper's hiding right now. For those that are asking where the thumpster is. Yep, he's in his cave. He was out playing earlier, but only while I was eating my dinner, and then he decided he wanted to go back to hiding. He'll end up in here eventually, although last week he didn't, which we always say he does, but he didn't, which was weird. I'm just pushing the seam back. If it looks weird to you by me folding it up like that, I'm just making sure that it's facing the one direction because I don't have room at the moment to fully iron this. It's 65 by 26 is the ironing board. Yeah, we have two videos. One is the initial when we made it, and the other one is recovering it, which I need to do again. And I have some pretty purple fabric to do that with. I just haven't done it yet. Because it's hot now, and, well, it's kind of hard to do an ironing board out in the garage when it's 100 and the garage is 100 degrees itself. So I'm going to have to wait till winter time to recover it, or I can just do a, whatchamacallit, cover.
110 outside, the garage is 100.
All right, so now that goes on this. Okay, so I'm going to pick this up and put this right here for a second. That way I can grab, not yet. You can move the iron though, because I don't want to burn myself. I don't want to burn myself. All right, we're going to grab this and make sure that it's the correct direction. That way, yep, okay. And then attach this. Line the whole thing up. I'm going to set this down for a second and then put the wall back where it goes. And not hang anything on it till I'm done because it's coming up.
Do you recommend an iron that doesn't shut off every 30 minutes?
No, actually, I know it's frustrating for your iron to shut off, but to keep the elements from getting ruined that keeps it hot and all the cord and everything that's inside of an iron to create the heat, to keep those from overloading, that's why they shut off. So it's actually a good thing that your iron shuts off every 30 minutes. So all you have to do, like this one, it'll shut off, but all I have to do is touch the handle. That part still works, the up and down thing. I'll touch the handle and then it turns it back on again. My little cordless one that I have, my Panasonic, I just put it back to high again. It turns itself off and I just put it back on high. And you just have to wait a second for it to get hot again. But those features are there for a reason when they shut off. It's so that you don't overload your iron or burn your house down or any of those kind of things. I know it sucks and it's kind of annoying, but they're there for a reason. That's why they do that. You don't want to ruin your iron. And it allows you to get up and move around, having to turn it back on again, you know. That way you're not just sitting stale in this position all day long, hurting your back more. Would you rather have back surgery or just get a new iron if you burn it up? You know? I'd rather just get a new iron. All right. This is getting big quick because these rows are kind of big. I think it'll be cool though. I was trying to take away the busyness by putting the black Vader between the row like this because it is a really busy quilt, and none of the Star Wars fabric, I did not piece it directionally, which you saw last week. I actually kind of just threw it all in there. The only thing that's directional again is the panel, and then the second piece that I built for it, and the Darth Vaders with the glow in the dark Vader. And again, it's longer than it needs to be. I didn't measure very well, did I? But that's okay, this one can get cut. So what I'm gonna do is very carefully, like, turn it right here and straighten it. Those are my last two things to do. I know this is not very proper of this trimming thing, but if you lay it as best as you possibly can, and as flat as you can, and this seam is not messed up here, then it's okay to cut this way. Seems weird, but I'm gonna do it. Oops. This is how you improvise. All right, got one on the top. That's in the middle. Now I got to put the one on the bottom. So let's grab that row. Put this on the bottom now.
We don't plan, we improvise, right, Tiffany?
Yep, I don't plan nothing. I just make things. I improvise. Yeah. Now I got to press all these parts. All right. Then we'll see how long it is, and if I just want to do top and bottom, or if I want to do the sides. Because so far it's got a 12.5 times 3 times 4 technically, and then 2 6.5 or 2 6-inch, and then 1 19 or 20-inch. I don't remember how big that panel section was. Oh, wow, look at that. I'm going to be really cutting some off. How'd that happen? How are these rows not the same size? I didn't know. Okay. Wow, that's, I don't want to cut that much off. Improvise. Snip it. Snip it. Grab a Star Wars print right here. And cut off a little strip of this and improvise. We don't need much because it's not much needed. We're gonna do a 2-inch strip off of here. Anyway, and then I just need 12.5 inches of it. Right there. And then sew it on and hand cut that other piece off. This is improvising right here. Exactly what I was talking about.
You're Mark.
All right, come on. Get under there. It's kind of yanking a little. Unyank, please. Thank you. I didn't cut the selvage off, so gotta do that real quick. This is what I get for not measuring things properly. Although my blocks should have been the same size throughout the whole thing, so I don't understand how that happened. But remember, I never said I was good at math. There. Move that out of the way. Move these out of the way. Fix this end. And then press.
Moving.
And it's only needing a 1/2 inch taken off. Right there and there. There we go. Nice and straight line there. Ta-da. Improvision done. And now I'm going to press. Carefully. I'm at the iron, but Scott walked away, so he can't turn the camera. We met on Craigslist when it used to have the dating, but we weren't for dating. It had the platonic relationships. We wanted Netflix and chill. We were both not wanting to date. We just wanted a friend to hang out with, and that's what we ended up with at first until we realized we like each other, and then we started dating.
I said the force is with you tonight.
Yeah. I'm telling you. I'm drive myself crazy tonight with all this. No auctions tonight. We're saving everything for the D-stash in a couple weeks, which will be a lot of quilts that you guys haven't seen done yet. Well, at least I'm hoping to have it all done. Okay, this is making it hard on me. I'm going to move everything out of my way. I'm going to slide that up, push it back. All right, that's what I want right there. Yes, there we go. Get that flat, nice and flat. Oh, and we'll be doing giveaways, yes, on the D-stash when we finally eventually do it. Yeah. We always do giveaways and auctions and D-stash all at the same time on the D-stash videos. All right, here we go. Get that. We need it flat so we can get a better accurate measurement on how big this actually is. Okay, now I'm going to push this out of the way so that I can push this seam back. Scotty, your iron is in my way. For a minute. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. I just did this. I was going to tell you. I used my acorn pressing pin for the first time. Because, you know, I definitely, and I'm going to say it out loud again, I don't think I have the time for the acorn pressing for pressing the seams to get them flat. Now, that's not to say that it doesn't get the seams flat, because it did. It got all of my seams super flat on what I was working on, but definitely I spent an hour putting it on all my seams, flattening my seams, and pressing everything. And I do not ever spend an hour making a tiny quilt in the pressing department. So I did use the stuff, but I'm probably never going to buy it on my own ever, because wow, did it take a long time to press a 20 by 20 little quilt. As I was piecing it, I mean. All right, and then I added that one. Did I press that one when I added it? I did, didn't I? Yeah. Yeah, those, okay. The bottom. All right, let's see how long this is. It doesn't look very long. It actually looks wider than it is longer now. So I'm going to fold it in half and lay it here on my ironing board. We're going to see how long it is. It's about 72 wide at the very moment. But let's see how long it is.
What was that stuff you just talked about?
The acorn pressing pin. Hold on, let me show you what it's. I've had one all this time. It's the acorn pressing pin and the refill bottle. And I gotta say, it takes too much time for me. So I probably will never use it.
But it worked good.
But it worked good. I won't use it beyond using this bottle. I'll never buy it again. But yeah. All of them, all the websites should have it. Fat Quarter Shop, you name it, they should all have it. It's a very common thing, but I personally do not like it. All right, it's 80 long, and let's make sure one more time on how wide it is. Yep, that's why I was going to add the 6 more inches on the pieces, but we're just going to put it on the top and bottom. And then it is 72 and a half inches wide.
80 by 72, that's not bad.
No, I'm going to still add the top and bottom.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. All right, let's add this top and bottom real quick.
That's 6 inches, right?
Yep, and then that's it. I'm not going any wider.
Another foot.
Yep, we're just going to add a top and bottom. All right, so I'm just going to grab one of these 6-inch strips. And I didn't even prep them or anything. I'm just going to cut the selvage off one end, align it up, and sew it on. So I'm going to use scissors to do this. And then I'm going to put it on here and sew it. And I got to make sure that's the top. Yep, it is. Okay. And then I can hang this darn thing up. You guys could see what it looks like in full, and I could see what it looks like in full, because my vision is a very busy vision here. All right, let's put the rest of this on my lap, even though it's 100 and bazillion degrees. Whew. Quilting in the summer in Arizona, heat, going outside doesn't bother me. If it's 112 degrees outside, I'm fine. I don't have a problem with it. My problem is being in the house, even with the AC on and a fan on, the iron on in the same room with a quilt on my lap. Even if it's just the fabric, it just makes me hot. It's definitely not a summertime hobby here in Arizona, for sure. So what did I say it was in length? 82, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 80. Okay, so 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. It'll be 91 by 72. That's the perfect size. And I already kind of know what I want to quilt on it. I want to quilt like straight lines with a circle going to out to another straight line with another circle at the end, just all over the place to look like the galaxy of stars on their stupid little screens in the old movies. Actually, in all the movies, the screens look like so old and outdated. Nothing compared to what we see. So I was going to do the lines to the stars on their dumb maps in the movies. I thought that would be a cool quilting. It might take a while though because I have to do like perfect circles. But it shouldn't be too hard, especially on an all-over design. All right, let's add that other side and then press it and hang it up on the wall. Even though it's going to be too long for the wall, we're still going to hang it up. And then I can show you guys my little mini project that I'm working on. I had to get some fabric for it though, so I'm waiting for the little border fabrics to come. But once those come, it'll be the perfect little cute mini quilt for me to hang on my wall. Guess it doesn't matter which way it goes because it's right side down and upside down and right side up all at the same time. How many of you have actually done a border only on the top and bottom because you only needed length? You didn't want width because a quilt was just off and you needed it to be a little bit longer. This is like the, I don't know, 200th time I've done this, just the top and bottom only. That's good. I don't think it looks funny. It tells you what's the top and bottom of a quilt when you go to make the bed. I have one quilt. I can't tell which side is which because it's 8 blocks across by 9 blocks down. But it's like that funky an illusion, you know. It looks exactly square, but it's not. And then when I put it on the bed, I'm like, this hangs over nothing on the sides. What's happening here? Because it's on the wrong way. So our quilts, we could do what we want. If we only want top and bottom borders. This is so busy. This is like the busiest quilt I've done in a long time. I haven't made a quilt this busy since making, you know, t-shirt quilts and stuff, because those are kind of busy too. Okay, fold it on top of itself, give it a nice trim, and my quilt top will be complete. Yay! It's too bad we're not done watching all the Star Wars stuff. We're almost done. Yeah. Yeah, we're almost through the Mandalorian because we're watching the TV show, some of the TV shows too. Some of them I'm not watching. We did all the movies though. All right, I'm going to press this back and then have Scott help me hang it. So now it's like 91. I'm not going to measure again, but it's like 91 by 73. Was that? Did I say 73? Yeah. 36 and 36 is 72 plus that half an inch-ish size. But once I quilt it, it'll be even smaller because it shrinks with quilting.
You need to do a Harry Potter one.
No, I have some Harry Potter fabric, but I think next is Grinch because I have a Grinch panel, fat quarter bundle with a panel in it. So I'm going to do Grinch. That's a movie set that we haven't watched in a while, though. It's the Harry Potter ones, huh? We haven't watched those in a while. Don't they have a new one?
all the kids.
Don't they have a new one with them grown up or something now or something like that? Or is that a totally different thing?
Not that I know of.
Where he comes out of the trash can or something? What is that?
Don't know. Not that I know of.
Oh, I don't know. I don't watch enough of those
They
kind of
have the ones
movies.
with the animals that are like in the U.S. Harry Potter in the U.S. All the animals, the extraordinary creatures. Remember?
Oh, okay. I don't remember it.
Those? Johnny Depp.
Extraordinary creatures, yeah.
And the one guy. Yeah, there's 3 of those ones.
And a little bit more, and then we'll hang it up. All right. You can unplug the iron too once you put the camera back.
Okay.
And just
We
because,
don't have near enough Harry Potter.
yeah, no, I only have a little bit of Harry Potter fabric. All right, Scotty, you take your side, I take mine.
All right, okay, go ahead. One man. So speedy, slow down.
I can only stand too tall.
How tall do you want?
I can go right there.
Okay, that's plenty tall for me. Your side's higher than mine. What, were you jumping up there with it?
I did jump.
I stood on my tiptoes and you still got me beat.
Oh, and you didn't even get it. You got not straight.
That's what I said. You went up higher.
Go to the shelf.
I am at the shelf.
Okay. There we go, right there.
All the way at the shelf. What do you want from me?
Short people problems.
Lady.
All right. And then it hangs over down here.
We can go over and show them hanging down.
There we go. Let's make sure it's stuck to the wall a little bit better. We don't want it falling mid-show. And I want to come around and look at it while I drop things on the floor. All right. There we go. That thing is busy. Look at that. I'm only 5'2½". When I started working out, I gained a half an inch in height. I was only 5'2". But I slouch too, which doesn't help. But when I was working out, my slouching was better. Now it's back to folded, so I probably shrunk again. Who knows? So there it is, my giant Star Wars quilt. So, I mean, have fun with panels and fat quarter bundles and just make it your own, you know? It doesn't have to be perfect. Here, I'm gonna hold up my really stiff, because it's been starched with that acorn pressing pin little project that I was talking about. Here's my little project.
That's awesome.
So these are 1 inch finished. Oops. I'm waiting for the border fabrics is the blue and the red, and then the floral print. That I made that, and that's what I use that pressing pin on. And it really does make the seams like super flat and stiff, but it's a little, I don't know, just time consuming for sure to make that. All right. And you guys were asking about the baby quilt that I was working on, so I will show that while I'm here. How the top.
Is that a double friendship star?
Yes, it's a double friendship star, a single and a double on that. So here's the one I did for the kid. I'm just gonna put it up on the. I'm just gonna put it up on the desk.
Okay, and then hang on this.
And hold it. So here's the one I did for the kid. It's pretty good size, so he'll be able to grow with it. You know, it's like 54, 53 by 60 something. I even added, can you see, I even added flying geese blocks out of the clothing, and half square triangles out of the clothing, you know. You can do whatever you want when you make t-shirt quilts with all the scraps of them, you know? And it just becomes a cute little busy kids quilt because it's kids' clothes. So there's that. And then the big one is too big for me to hold up because that thing is enormous. Yeah, I'm not going to show that one. Ugh. Yeah. I have leftover Lion King fabric, and I was just going to put fabric around it.
Oh, okay. That'll be a cool back line.
Yep.
Like
yep. All right. What else can I do while I'm here? Answer questions. Okay.
I don't know. Work on your little thing. You should have finished it. So
no.
you rushed to finish it.
Any questions or anything, guys? Because, you know, I'm ahead of schedule because I'm so quick. You could type them in. I could see. Up to help my granddaughter make baby clothes quilt for 2 children because you inspired me in a very practical way. Awesome. That'll be great. Oh, yeah, I could do matching pillow for this probably because I still have a lot of fabric, Star Wars fabric, literally.
Yeah, it's all right there.
Yeah, look how much I have left. There's like 2-3 yards on that one. 4 yards probably on one of them because one had 5 yards and I only took a little bit off of it. Another one probably has like 3 or 4 yards. Like literally I have a lot left. But I also have all the fat quarters that I cut myself for the next time. How many hours a day do I sew? I don't sew as often as you guys think. Like, okay, so today I got up and I long arm quilted. So I got all the long arm quilting done that I wanted to do today. Just one quilt. It's not a lot, but it's done. So I did the long arm and then obviously sewed this. But I haven't sewn any time in between that. So whatever I just did now for an hour and then long arm quilting for an hour earlier. And then yesterday I made that little project. I started it the day before and then finished it the next day because I needed it off my desk. But I had all the little tiny squares that were 1.5 inches just laying here. And I needed to trim the quilts that I had quilted the previous day. So I finished that up and I sewed that for like, 2 hours I was in here just screwing around. I sewed that. And obviously one of those hours was the acorn pressing pin taking up my time. And then that was all I sewed that day. And then the day before that, I just long arm quilted 2 quilts in a row. I did 1 quilt in the morning and 1 quilt in the afternoon. And then that was the end of my day. The day before that was client quilts. I did 3 in one day. I mean, my sewing kind of depends on the day. There are some days I don't walk in here at all. Scott tries to say I do work every day. I do other things other than sitting and sewing. So I prep this or cut that, or I hang out in my fabric room and just cut fabric because I don't want to do anything else. So, I mean, I'm always doing something, but not always sitting and sewing. Have I ever made a dragon quilt? I have the fabrics to make a dragon quilt, 2 of them actually. I just haven't done it yet. And your long arm quilting, how did you learn to free motion? I don't know, I just did. It started out on a Juki, free motion quilting. And, well, actually, it didn't start on the Juki specifically. I started out on a Brother old machine that was so slow, and free motion quilting on it was not fun. Then I got the Juki on a frame. And I did not, I spent a whole 1.5 years of it on a frame, hating it because I went too fast for that as well. I just picked it up. I don't know. I could see the design, like watching other people's long arm quilting videos online, and I can watch how the ones that are computerized and they show it, I can watch how it moves around, and I would sit with my phone in my hand like this, and while the machine was moving on the computerized ones, like Donna Jordan's videos say, you know how at the end of every video on Jordan Fabrics, they always put it on the long arm and you watch it stitch for a few minutes. I take my phone sideways like this and I watch it and I move in the direction that the machine is moving, and then I basically learn from there. So that's a big tip for you guys if you want to learn free motion quilting. I have loads of long arm quilting videos. My machine head follows, the phone was following the head as it went. So all you have to do is follow the motion around holding your phone as it goes with your vision, and you definitely can build muscle memory just watching videos. So it kind of just comes to me.
What brand and type of iron-on interfacing and fusible fleece do you use?
Fusible fleece, I don't really buy. Iron-on interfacing, I use all sorts. Pellon 911, Pellon SF 101, Pellon FF 101, Pellon this, Pellon 98, Pellon. I have all Pellon products. I have foam, Pellon foam, the one-sided fusible. Like I just use all sorts of Pellon products for interfacing. Double friendship star. So it starts with a half square triangle, and then you take and build a little half square triangle off of it. Let's build one real quick. Let's take a 2.5 inch square pile. Here's some 2.5 inch squares of that. We'll take 2.5 inch squares of this, and one more color. We'll use this. I just grabbed colors out of my bin. We're going to take and make 4 of these. We're going to make 4 half square triangles out of the green and white. So I only have 2 of each square. This is really easy to do. So I'm going to right sides together to the both of these. I'm going to sew on both sides of my invisible line because I didn't draw a line, and I'm using black thread because that's what I have on the machine, but I'll show you how. 2 sides, and then we'll go to the other side and sew that. All right, and then I'm going to cut them. Oh, come on. In half. Like this. So I cut them in half, so now I have 4 half square triangles. I'm going to just finger press these to the dark, which is my aqua color that I just randomly am using here. And for those who are going to ask, yes, I can do most of this stuff off of memory. I have a really horrible memory, but when it comes to quilting, I don't know what it is. I remember things. All right, once they are this, they should be exactly the same size, all 4 of these. So I am just for now going to take and one of these and a rotary cutter, and I'm going to chop it in half. It's just a 2.5 inch square. And I'm going to take a second one and chop it in half so that I have 4 of these. I didn't need as many squares as I grabbed, but I just grabbed stacks. We want to put this on this right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to line this up with the corner. This is a 2.5 inch square, by the way. So you can see it sticks out with your 1/4 inch on both sides. So I'm going to put it across the side on 4 of these. Oh, let's make sure we're on the same side, though, of every single one of these. So I'm going to lay them all the same way. So I want it right here. So these were 2.5 inch squares to start, right? And then I sewed on both sides of an invisible drawn line of my 2.5 inch square, cut it. So now I have 4 of these. And that whatever size it came out right here should be fit for a 2.5 inch square cut on the diagonal 1 time. Oops, there it is right there in front of my face. And you line it up with your corner right here. And then you're going to sew that on with a 1/4 inch seam. So this one on, I'm using the actual piece as my 1/4 inch seam. I'm just going to show you guys how this works. Probably never even seen it done this way, huh? So I literally sewed from corner to corner, see, pretty much, because it was hanging over. So when I fold this back, I have this unit right here. So I'm going to cut away that excess right here. And my seam is already there, my seam allowance on the one color. So all I had to do was get rid of that. I'm just going to cut this away right next to that. And again, I technically sewed corner to corner. We're going to trim these down anyway, but snip it off. I don't know if you guys even knew you can do this. And then one more. Fold it back. And now you should have a 3-piece unit like this. I'm going to trim all these to one size, even though I didn't press or anything. Just going to trim them all to 2 inches. I'm going to line up my corners, the corners of my little piece here. I'm going to cut it down to 2 inch. Line it up. Cut it down to 2 inch right there. And last side, 2 inches. Trim this one. I finger pressed as best as possible too, so should be okay. My 2 inch mark, 2 inch right there, there, and there. So you should have these little units that look like this. I'm literally lining up the corner right there. I'm barely cutting anything off of these because they're almost 2 inches. Of course, you can do any size you want. If you start out with a 3-inch square, just know that your next piece needs to be 3 inch. If you want to start out with a whatever, just know that the piece you cut in half needs to be the same as your original starter piece. That corner and that corner. And one more cut. Perfect. All right. Slide this over here. Oh, there's my, right there. Okay, now you're going to take this, and my white is going to be my background color. So my white is always going to face the outer side. Oops. And turn it. My white is facing the outer side. So now I want a center square, and I'm just going to make this one red. So we're going to turn this 2.5 inch square into a 2 inch square. We're going to put that in the middle. Okay. And then I'm going to take 4 of these whites. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to take and turn those into 2 inch squares as well. I know I'm wasting fabric here, but that's why I cut these 2.5 inch squares out of my scraps, is so that I can, make blocks as I want to make them. And there, we're going to sew it now with a 1/4 inch seam. Okay, so we're just going to sew it like a 9 patch. I'm going to hook this here, that there, and this here. I'm going to sew these with a 1/4 inch seam. I'm probably easifying this for you guys, because some of you are like, oh, wow, you could just do it like that? Yes, you can. All right, grab this one, sew it through. And you can do this with any size square, as long as your starting square is the same size as your extra square. And then you just trim them down to the closest side. So I have those sewn together. I'm going to open them and finger press away from the pieced one. So left, and then away from the pieced one, right, and then away from the pieced one, left, and then I'm going to add these 3. So I'm going to bring this over to the machine, sew these on. And I didn't really waste much fabric because I cut only this off the back of one side. So this was my waist, Then I'm going to take these. I'm going to go right, left, and right, and then sew those units together. Look at this. You guys get a free demonstration all while I'm here. I have a King Quilter Elite special edition. That is what I have for my long arm, for those that just asked. I love it. I've only had to have it serviced once now, and that's it. And I've had it for over 6 years.
Billions of stitches on it.
And I have billions of stitches on it. Not millions, billions of stitches on it. And it's still running strong. All right. And then I finger press this right here. And there is our double friendship. I have to hold it down because it's only finger pressed, but that is a double friendship star. Pretty simple, right? I'll hold it up higher.
What can you do with different types of fabric when you're doing piecing, making squares, different weights and textures?
Just piece them. If this is different weights and textures here. This is, I don't know, very thin fabric, but the green was like a Walmart fabric probably. And this red, I don't even know what this was, but you can tell this is a really thin fabric. And these two were thick. And I just sew them together because these are my scraps and I make, you know, sample stuff with my scraps. So, but that's how you make a double friendship star. And every time you piece one, when you guys saw me at that step where I was piecing this, as long as you make sure that your one piece is always on the same end or the opposite end of the sideways part, then you should always have them come out the same direction. But if you want to have them spin 2 ways, like I did in my little one that I showed you guys, you can have them spin both ways. Then you would build these 2 different ways. You would have it come off the one side or you would have it come off the opposite side. But there we have it. And you can see it's so good that look how much of a seam allowance you have here. So you don't lose your star points. You have a little bit more than 1/4 inch of a seam allowance at all your points, so you won't lose your points of your star. So pretty simple way to do a double friendship star, if you guys were curious how to do that.
What's your favorite pattern for free motion?
Favorite pattern for free motion? I tend to meander quite often. You can turn the camera back up now. All right. All right. So there was that.
Is it worth it to buy a smaller long arm? I heard they're hard to use.
So here's my opinion, my personal opinion. It's nothing against those that buy this stuff, but my personal opinion, if you're going to buy a long arm, buy the whole thing. I have heard so many people regret buying it and then they don't ever use it. So they spent $5,000 on this 14-inch machine on a 5-foot cutie or whatever you want to call it frame, or these little tabletop frames with jukies and stuff. All these people buy these things. You still have to get down on the floor or on a table and baste your quilt. Then you have to hook it to this small frame. You can only do small quilts on the small frames. Anything bigger, you really have stuff hanging over and you're only able to quilt. That tabletop one is only like this wide, so you're only able to quilt so much. And when I had the Juki on a 10-foot frame, once you start rolling, so this has a 9-inch throat space. Now you're going to put a 1.5-inch bar right here. Then you're going to fill that 1.5-inch bar with fabric. You see how much more space it's taking up in that throat space? It's literally just going to keep growing. And by the time you're at the end of the quilt, you're dwindled down to 3 inches. So now that full design that you started doing, by the time you get to the bottom, now you have to do it in quarters, that design, because there's not enough space. So if you really have the space and you really have the money to invest in a long arm, because you really want to finish all these quilt tops on your own, I 100% suggest getting a full-size long arm on a full-size frame, an 18-inch long arm on a 10-foot or 12-foot frame. If you only have room for 8-foot, you can still do pretty big quilts on an 8-foot frame. So, because I think you can do like a 72-inch by however long you want it to be quilt on an 8-foot frame. I'm trying to think about that right now. I think you can do up to 72 inches. Really good. So that's good. But these little frames, nothing against those of you who bought one, but I don't know how many of you have complained to me. What machine do you have? Because they want to get something else because their little frames are driving them crazy. And my little frame drove me crazy for over a year. And Scott and I fought that whole entire year because I complained that whole entire time and said, I can't do this. And he had to realize my quilting was top notch. It was amazing. We fought. No, my quilting on it, the frame, was amazing. And
it had nothing to do with your quilting. The agreement was we spent the thousands of dollars to get that little one. You were not going to bug me for one more thing. And what did you do from day one?
I bugged him for a bigger machine and more expensive machine.
And I always just said, what was the agreement? That was my answer.
Yeah. So it was a frustrating year, but after all that time, I got my bigger frame and I've never complained once. Besides, tension problems. Man, I have come across the house. I don't want to mess with this thing. It's driving me crazy. But it's always tension or something stupid. Or the screen, because I had screen problems for a while. But yeah, I 100% personal opinion. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. I don't recommend anything but an actual 18-inch long arm on a regular size frame because you don't have room unless you're only making baby quilts or you're only making little quilts, like little lap stuff, tiny stuff, because unfortunately you don't get much done on those little frames. Sorry, that's just personal opinion. I know this from experience with a little machine on a big size frame.
Are you putting that little quilt in the quilt shelf?
No, that little quilt is for me to hang on the wall with. I have I don't know if you guys have seen this because we've gone to my living room and I've showed it in here. I got these dowels and I took these little, I don't know, like 1/2-inch dowels and then we put them in these little hook things. So I have some in the living room, I have some in here, and I hang my quilts on them and I rotate my quilts through it. And this one's red, white, and blue, so it's going to be my like July quilt that I'm going to hang up, But that's if I can get it done before July. My fabric should be here soon, so that way I could finish it. And I didn't get a lot, just a little piece. I just need to be able to put a couple little borders around it with red, white, and blue. So, yeah. Yeah, there's other people agreeing about the long arm. You don't know until you've used it. And I have so many people I even long arm quilt for people who have long arms. Because their long arm is too small. Their frame is too small for the quilts. Especially if you're following my videos and we only make big quilts here. So nothing against it. If everybody, I want someone to long arm my quilts because I want to have a quilt that's computerized done, I want a really cool design that I can't do on my own, but I don't send it out. I will eventually, but I haven't. I want Beth to do one of my quilts on her machine. So, but yeah, I highly recommend a bigger machine on a bigger frame. Yeah, the biggest that you have room for. I have a long arm video on when you buy a quilt, when you buy a long arm, things you need to know before you buy. It's in a video in the long arm playlist. Things you need to know before you buy a long arm, like how much space you need, how much this you need, what other supplies you're going to have to buy, what other this you're going to have to do, knowing your local maintenance area, knowing what machine to even buy, So there's tons of options out there. Look into it. Yeah, I keep all of my mini quilts, most of them. The ones that you guys watch my open gate videos, I only keep a few of those. The rest of them I auction off. But sometimes from the scraps of my open gates boxes, I'm able to make quilts. Or sometimes I want, like the ones that are hanging on the wall now, those are from open gate projects that I really like. One's black, white, and gray. And the other one is the family tree one, which I'll show you right now. But I love my mini quilts, so I save most of those, unless it's just like a table topper. But those are the ones I have hung right now. I love this one. I paper pieced it, so obviously I'm going to keep it. And this one I appliqued with a fancy stitch. Let me see if I can't get the camera to go to it. All right. Can you see that fancy stitch to make it look cool, like thorns? So since I had so much fun long arm quilting and stuff with it, I decided, I got to keep that. And this one too. This one has roses. I quilted roses around the edge and just did some lines around the thingy on it, you know. So I keep some of my quilts, but, or like my little itty bitty dinky one. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this one. Have you ever seen this one? These are 1/4 of an inch. So I could hide it, yeah. So these are a 1/2 inch. This is a 1/4 inch sashing and 1/4 inch cornerstones and 1 inch blocks, but 1/2 inch squares. Well, the squares aren't 1/2 inch. They were an inch, but now they're finished at a 1/2 inch. So that's my little tiny, tiny one that hangs on the little tiny sewing machine hanger. That one's only like, I think it's 12 inches tall and 9 or so inches wide. I don't know. I don't know what it is. And then obviously I have that one hanging, and that one's special to me because the client I made the quilt for out of those fabrics, I have my own part of it now, you know, so obviously I kept that. And then that quilt has all of the postcards on it, so you really don't even see the quilt anymore. But it's postcard fabric quilt and stamp fabric on that quilt. So I keep some of my quilts.
Are you accepting hourglass for your quilt?
If you want to send me hourglass squares, I have a lot more to make. My bin is full again to make more hourglasses. That thing fills up so quick. But yeah, I have other mini quilts. I think I showed you guys some of them. I have this mini quilt right here. And then I have this little tiny mini quilt right here. And then, oh, it's stuck. Okay. And then this one I showed last week. That's my other mini quilt. I just love my mini quilts, and I have a whole nother stack of them. I just have them up right now in the closet where I can't get to them. But yeah, I hang them up. I rotate them around so they don't get all hung at once. But I definitely like making little mini quilts from my scraps. They're from the half square. When you cut binding and or snowball corners of 2.5 inch squares, and you have all these leftover pieces like this from a 2.5 inch square, when you cut it, I save these. And then whatever size they turn into, which will be eventually this bin. They're this big right now, but I think I'm going to cut them all down to 2 inches because they're about 2.25 inches. Some of them are 2.5, like this one's reading at 2.5. This one's kind of wonky, but it's about 2.25. Like they're all different because the fabrics weren't cut exactly straight. Like some of them I'd scissor cut while I'm sitting here, the ends, so they're not always the same. But yeah, I just take 4 of those, sew them together. You know, some of them are, you know, the same matching fabrics, and some of them are just wonky. But I have 2 bins full like this, plus this is filled, and then I have some more to make in the other room. Yeah, I've been making these little hourglasses forever, and I have a whole bag of them here. I just haven't pressed or put away. Yeah, I have a lot going on right here in this pile. Yeah, I've been working on these for a long time. I probably will eventually get to it, just like my what is that quilt that I've been working on? The snails at sea. I'll eventually get to that one too. That one's under the desk as well. That's my I'm very bored quilt.
How do you put the tabs on the hanging rod? The one on the wall.
Oh, well, that's simple. Here, I'll take this one out of the closet so that you can see. When you're sewing your binding on, oh, let me take it off the hanger. When you're sewing the binding on, I sew my binding from the back side first, and then I lay these on here like this, facing down. I never face them up because if you face them up, then you're gonna end up stitching wrong. So it doesn't work that way. You have to face them down when you sew the first binding on, and then when you come around it, leave them facing down you know, and then just stitch around the top. So that way I can either lay this on a table and it'll lay flat, or I can hang it on the wall from the little tabs. And all it is ribbon. I have tons of ribbon. My daughter Alexa gave me a ton of ribbon, and so I've been trying to use it up, matching ribbon for all my little quilts. And I keep forgetting to put it on the ones that I auction off too, because, you know, I didn't think how other people want to hang their quilts. So, but some of them I've been putting it on, some of them I haven't. But it's really easy. And then some of my quilts get actual sleeves. Like this one has an actual sleeve that is hand stitched on here. So you can see my lovely hand stitching. Can you see that? I can't because I did matching thread, and it's a invisible stitch is what it's supposed to be, but it's got an actual sleeve on it. So some have actual sleeves, you know, so that it can hang in a quilt show, and some do not. Some just have the hanging thing, the ribbon. Very easy to do. Just get some ribbon from the store, a whole thing of white or a whole thing of whatever color you want, because all the quilts end up having that, and just put the ribbon on and hang it from a dowel.
Portia has the red dragon fabric. She wants you to let her know she's afraid to cut hers up.
Oh yeah, I have.
Let her know when you go to use it.
Yeah, I have two. Other than the dragon fabric that I have in there, I have two panels that have dragons, and they're purple. So I haven't yet cut them. Not the panels. I'm not going to cut the panels. I'm going to cut around it and build around them, but I just haven't done it yet because, well, I'm going to want to keep them for myself because they're dragons, and I don't know how big they're going to end up. So, yeah, they have to be wall hanging size when they're done if I keep them. My future long arming plan. Oh, okay. So I have this plan, and I'm not sure how this is going to work. I'm going to tell you guys something. Long arm quilting videos hurt my channel. They really do. They hurt my channel. They get less views for one. So I have 50,000 subscribers, but 1,000 people watch the video, and 5 to 10 people unsubscribe, and then I get bad comments. So I stopped making long arm quilting videos. But I had this idea, and Becca kind of started this idea, and I kind of am going to run with it, I think. This all depends. I was thinking of a Tiffany's long arm quilting masterclass. So a bunch of little 10-minute videos or less with like a white fabric and a black thread, or, you know, a solid fabric where you can see the thread, because some of my long arm quilting videos, you can't see the thread all that great until I get into a lighter area. But I was thinking of teaching you guys from the start of free motion quilting on a long arm to building yourself a skill and all the different variations you can do from simple, easy designs, taking one thing and then building off of that, and just making a ton of short 10-minute or less videos. Would you guys watch that on how? Because everything I do on a long arm can be done sit down free motion. So if I make it clear for you to visually see, would you watch them?
Yeah, it's only going to be 10 minutes
And
long.
it's only going to be 10 minutes long, so it's not going to take a bunch of your day, you know. And you can rewatch it over and over if you're trying to actually follow, like I said with the phone thing, following it. So, I mean,
so
would it help?
One commercial.
Yeah, so it'd only have like one commercial, so it wouldn't even be like that kind of video. It'd just be
got to watch 30 seconds of the commercial.
A master class. But if I'm going to do it, I have to start filming it while I have no client quilts, because I need to load a large piece of fabric that's solid and then separate it into sections so that I can show some of the bigger designs to you guys that I know how to do. And like I said, my brain holds over 100 designs.
Tell them they gotta watch 30 seconds of the one commercial so
yeah,
they get paid.
Yeah, you got to watch 30 seconds of the one commercial so that I can get paid for these videos, guys. But yeah, I want to do a long arm quilting masterclass, but I wanted to make sure with you guys out there that's even worth me taking the time to film all this, because I have to load and unload the quilt that I'm going to make a giant quilt with sections. I have to load and unload it between client quilts and my quilts because I still want to do my regular long arm quilting. And then I still got to film and edit these videos and so on and so forth to make sure that they are of good, clear quality, and I articulate what I'm doing as best as I possibly can. But if you guys want, I will start a long arm quilting, Tiffany's long arm quilting masterclass. I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be a professional. I have flaws, but I do know how to quilt a lot of different things. Custom, edge to edge, you name it. I know how to quilt a lot of things. And then there are some things that I really suck at, but I will run down the basics for those of you who even just purchased the machine and don't know what to do next. I'm going to start from the beginning and then move it on. And I'll put it all in a playlist for you guys to, start from the beginning and move your way forward.
Do you have any videos that show loading the quilt onto the long arm?
Yes, I have videos loading, but that is also going to be part of my long arm quilting masterclass. I already have the videos you can watch now, but part of my masterclass idea is to start from the beginning, from threading your machine, how to roll bobbins, how to do this. They're all going to be 10-minute sections though, so that video is only that thing that I'm talking about. So it'll only be how to load a quilt, only how to this a quilt, only how to deal with tension, so on and so forth. Yeah, I have a whole playlist. If you go to my main page, my main YouTube page where you see the banner and home, videos, shorts, live, community, playlist, community tab, all that across the top, hit on playlists and scroll down to the one that says long arm quilting. It might be further down because I haven't posted in it in a while because I stopped doing long arm quilting, but that's how you'll find it. And it's there's a lot of videos there, a lot. Some of them are shoddy quality, some of them are watchable, and some of them I sped them up. I started speeding them up, and you know what? It's still the same thing. I'm doing the same thing, just faster. So.
To the best of our knowledge, it doesn't matter how they watch the whole commercial or only 30 seconds.
Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, it doesn't matter if you watch the whole commercial or just 30 seconds of the video. I'm pretty sure it's 30 seconds or more of a commercial has to be watched from my channel to make money. That's how YouTube pays. So if you guys didn't know that, I give away free everything to you guys, but you guys have to watch commercials for me to get paid for all this free stuff. I'm never going to get channel memberships. I'm not, and I know my friends all do the channel memberships. I'm not interested in channel memberships and having to do extra things for those people. I'm not interested in website stuff or any specialty extra stuff. I don't want the headache of all of that. So the only way I get paid is you guys purchasing items that I will put links for, or Scott puts links for in the chat, and or buying off of the websites that I'm affiliated with, and or watching 30 seconds of a commercial while you're on the video. So if a commercial comes on,
you only get a third of a penny for you doing that.
Yeah, and then I only get a third of a penny if
that's how much YouTube pays. So you all think YouTube is a millionaire thing?
Yeah, YouTube is not $1 million. No, even those that have millions of subscribers, they actually $100,000 a month. I mean, that's a lot, but those are the ones that have like 16 million subscribers. Those are the ones that make all the money. Us little channels. Yeah. I can't read that. Yes, and thumbs ups, will sound weird. A thumb up and a comment actually helps the algorithm too. So, and subscriptions, if you don't have ads, I get a percentage of that. So say 50 of you here right now have the YouTube subscription plan. I will get a percentage of your YouTube subscription plan from the 50 of you if you watch my videos consistently. I will get a percentage. So 50 of you are watching right now, whatever, and the rest of everybody watch the commercials, I'll get that small, 2 cents or 3 cents from that. So that's how that works. I don't get paid a lot on YouTube. I hope you guys know this. We have enough to pay all of our bills and for me to purchase fabric when I need and buy long arm quilting supplies and so on and so forth. But I definitely would not, if I don't have a mortgage, we own our house. If I had a mortgage, we wouldn't be able to pay that and survive, if that makes any sense. But because we don't have a mortgage or a rent or anything like that, I can afford to live the way we live.
For homeowners insurance.
Yeah, but we have homeowners insurance. we have car. No, we have car insurance. You said that, which screwed me up.
I said
we have car insurance and all that other kind of stuff, but we don't have
a
mortgage or homeowners insurance or anything.
People should have.
Yeah, we don't have all the things that we should have because we can't afford it. So if we could afford it, we would, but we don't have it. So.
Some of the commercial breaks have more than one commercial.
Yeah, some of the commercial breaks have more than one commercial, and we get paid
for 30 cents of each commercial. So
for the whole commercials, yeah, for 30 seconds of each.
Get money from each one.
Yeah, and some commercials are only 10 seconds. I don't know how that one works. We've Googled it like hundreds of times, different ways. We don't really find an answer for those. You still get paid for those like 10-second commercials for like T-Mobile or whatever, but we don't get. It's just a percentage, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I'm not YouTube, but it's how that works, And it's per 1,000 views also. It's per every 1,000 views. So per every 1,000 views of those of you that are watching commercial is where I get that percentage from. If that makes any sense. Yes, I actually do have a GoPro. No, I do not know how to use it.
Oh, I didn't know we had one.
Yeah, I have a GoPro 9. It was gifted to me, and I still have yet to learn how to use it. I know how to turn it on and stuff. I don't know how to connect it to the Wi-Fi or any of that stuff, or use it as a live stream camera, which I heard you can with GoPro 9. I'm not 100% sure. I had a fake GoPro. That one had horrible quality camera. This one has the GoPro 9 horrible quality sound. So I have to get there's an adapter to run sound on it. So that's the only thing I need to get for that. Other than that, besides figuring out how to use it, I have to sit. I haven't had time to sit and I really do hate to sit and watch a computer. It just drives me. I don't know what it is about a computer screen. I don't mind watching my phone for 15 minutes here or there, or watching, like, say, going on Becca's or Teresa Louise or any of those live streams and watching. But I hate sitting on a computer screen. I hate editing. I hate all of it. It drives me bonkers. So I try to stay away from that, and to learn how to use a GoPro properly without a screen that's only this big, I have to sit on a computer, and I don't want to. But I have to eventually because I need to learn how to use it. But I have it. I just need to get one adapter for it. It's missing an adapter. But for my long arm, for filming those videos, my cell phone and the one that you guys are watching from, that actually has a mount for my long arm. So I have a mount for it on my long arm. So that helps. So I'll be able to still film all those videos. And plus I'm going to have Scott help me with them so that he can come up, while I'm talking and stuff. Hopefully it'll turn out good. No, Teresa, it is not.
Well, yeah,
if the house isn't, then nothing's covered. We just can't afford it right now. So.
What kind of sewing machine would you recommend that I could sew and quilt?
For sewing, okay. The question was, what kind of sewing machine do I recommend for sewing and quilting? A Juki, right here, the TL2010Q. You can buy it at SewingMachinesPlus. Scott, we'll put a link in. No, honestly, if you don't have the money for it, you can buy a Brother machine, or any machine will work for sewing and quilting. But if you're only straight stitch piecing and you're only free motion quilting, then you just need a straight stitch machine for $999 at most places online, and sometimes $899 depending if you find it on for sale. The Juki TL2010Q has all that. Quickly piecing, and really good free motion quilting stitches. So I just, I love my machine, but you can get any other machine. Any machine will do exactly the same thing as the previous machine, just slower. Sorry, I know. I love my TL. I'm literally thinking about getting another one. Do I really need another TL2010Q? No, I don't know. This one has nothing wrong with it, so I don't know why I would need another one. But I have had friends over to sew with me, so, it would be nice if we all could sew at the same exact time. I mean, I have enough machines for that. If we sit around the kitchen table and sew, that would be fun.
You do have enough machines.
I do have
That
one,
this
two,
this
three,
one, the
4.
brother.
I have 4 machines to sit and
Yeah.
sew with friends. Well, 1 and 3 friends.
The only problem is our kitchen table doesn't have the room.
Yeah, the kitchen table doesn't have enough room for that. But right now I can have 1 friend over and they can choose from using Juki, which they choose usually 90% of the time, or they can use the other Juki or my little brother Pinto machine. How does a Juki get serviced when you buy it online? Well, it depends on where you buy it. Huh?
I put that you do your own.
Yeah, I service my own machines. So other than taking the long arm to California to get serviced the one time, I actually service all my own machines. I clean all my own machines. I take them apart completely. I even have videos showing you what the inside of a machine looks like. I have taken them apart. I know how to put them all back together. I am really good at servicing my own machines. So, and I know what most of the parts are and things like that. Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. When it comes to when it comes to quilting and learning quilting, I had to learn about the machine too. So every machine that I've ever had, the old Kenmore machines, my old brother machines, my one and only Singer that I've ever had, I've taken every single machine apart to service it. I even, one of the Kenmores that I had didn't work, and I made it work because I took it apart, cleaned it, oiled it, serviced the parts, put a new belt, and everything works perfect. You know what I mean? So you just have to know what you're doing and learn all the aspects of your quilting because it saves you money if you can do it yourself. I could probably even service a featherweight. I see Susie says she has a featherweight. Yeah, I could probably even do one of those. I would love to have one, but I have too many machines, and everybody that has a featherweight has told me they're kind of on the slower side. So I don't know if I want it. It may just be a straight stitch machine, but it's still a little on the slower side. So I would probably never use it. It would just be something fancy to put on the shelf and say, "Hey, I have a featherweight." I always go back to the TL 2010Q. I could pull the newer Juki, the HLZF 600. I could pull that out and play with it all day, and then I'm done with it, and I put it away because I'd rather use this one. I don't know, this something.
Oh, are you gonna do a master class on domestic machines?
Okay. I'm gonna say this because I gotta say it. I absolutely do not like sit down free motion quilting. I despise it. I did it in the beginning, yes, but it killed my back, my neck, my hips, my body, my shoulders. I was constantly needing Scott to rub my back, my shoulders, my neck, my feet, everything. I don't know what it is about sit down free motion quilting. I absolutely hate it. I could sit down and piece, but with piecing, you do this. You get up, you cut your fabric, you go iron it, you sit back down, you this. When you're free motioning, you get all hunched, no matter how hard you try, it's like your vision goes away from you and you just make yourself back close to it, and it drives me nuts. I can't do it. So I will probably never do a master class on free motion. I can free motion. I know how. I'm not very good at it anymore. I am on the long arm, but yeah, I will probably never do sit down free motion quilting again. I quilted some of my little quilts in videos where you guys seen me do, straight lines and stuff. But by the time I was done and we were done on live stream, guess what I was asking Scott for? A back rub, a shoulder rub, a neck rub, because I just can't do it. It kills me to sit here and do that. I just piece. That's it. Everything else is done on a long arm. I can't do it. So sorry for those of you, but everything I do on a long arm is translated to sit down free motion. You can still do all those motions. You can even do ruler work from a sit down machine if you have a ruler foot, which they sell for sit down machines. So I just can't do it. Sorry for those that, have asked over the years. I don't want to kill myself or torture myself sit down free motion quilting for video's sake to show you guys the same designs that I'm showing on a long arm. Angela Walters, she does it. She shows on a long arm, her older long arm quilting videos, she'll show you on a long arm and then she'll show you on sit down. If you want to watch those are I highly recommend, but I just can't do it.
take classes to service your own machine?
I did not take classes to service my own machine. I just took it apart one day
That's
and
what you taught yourself.
I taught myself how to fix and service it and put it back together again. I was one of those kids that took the VCR apart when I was a kid, and my dad and mom would get pissed off at me. What the hell did you do, Tiffany? I'm sorry, I wanted it to play better. Or I'd take a Q-tip with alcohol on it to clean the heads, and they're like, "What do you? That's how you clean the head, Mom? Did you not know this?" And
Well, I
my
did that.
video played better. You know, like I was the kid that took things apart. You know, when I had a microwave that stopped working once, and I took it apart, and guess what? It worked again when I put it back together. I just like taking things apart, so that's kind of where that came into play. So I'm going to learn my machines. So I kind of wanted to be certified in machine servicing and fixing, but that's even more work for me, and I kind of have a lot of work already. So
Tell them you have plenty of videos of taking your machine apart.
yeah, I have
Put it
plenty of
back
videos
together.
on how to take it apart, and even your
Clean it.
basic computerized machine, I show you how to take those apart too. So, and clean them, which I need to actually do. With this machine needs to be cleaned, and the other Juki needs to be cleaned because they are both filthy. And my serger, I kind of need to do something about that serger because last time I used it, I made a disaster on it, and yeah, I haven't cleaned it since. All right, I've been talking for a long time.
Yeah, I think you're done.
I'm getting pooped just talking. Anything else that you guys want to ask before I get off of here? Because I think it's about time that I get up, and go put my feet up, and relax in bed watching an episode or two of, what is it called again? The Mandalorian. I should just look back here. Is there a Mandalorian on this?
Boba Fett is.
Boba Fett. Okay, yeah. Okay. Oh, right there. Boba Fett. We did start watching Baby Yoda, though. Didn't we? Oh, no, Baby Yoda's in the Mandalorian. That little baby Yoda. Yeah. Anyways, that Baby Yoda character, he makes the show. Some of the episodes have been really boring, but Baby Yoda, like, makes me laugh. He's too cute. And then the one we just watched is he was eating the frog eggs. He shouldn't have been stealing and eating the frog eggs, but he could not resist. They were calling his name. All right. I need to, like, Tiffany, can you put
Chart up with quilt guys, bed sizes. Yeah, will you show them that paper?
Oh, yeah, I'll show you real quick. So you can find these charts online, but if you want to write it down real quick, sorry, my scribbles are all over this. So twins are 39 by 70. This is the mattress size, by the way, guys. So a queen or twin is 39 by 75. A twin XL, we don't really have much of those. They are in semi trucks though. Full 54.75. A full XL, which I've never seen in America. Queen is 60 by 80. A king is 76 by 80, and a cow king is 72 by 84. And then when it comes to, here's the mattress size, bedspread sizes are a little bit different than your comforter size and your blanket size. So you can make different size quilts. Here's my little cheat sheet that I use, to make them. So certain sizes are related to certain size quilts, you know what I mean? And then lap quilts are just whatever size is big enough for a lap, and baby quilts are. I try to make baby quilts as big as a crib, but there are a lot of times that they come out, smaller than crib size. But I try to make them crib size because a lot of the parents just like to put the quilt down and then put the baby on it, not really cover the baby with the quilt, But most babies actually throw blankets off of themselves anyway.
Have you ever had to adjust your feed dogs?
I have had to adjust the feed dogs. That Kenmore, remember the one that was totally trashed that I took apart and fixed? Yeah. I haven't had to do it on any of the new machines, no. But on the one Kenmore, I had to replace a lot of stuff on it and fix a lot of things. And then I sold it eventually because I couldn't handle it. It was too slow for me. All right. Anything else?
We all good?
Oh, Tracy misses her waterbed. I absolutely love. My parents had a waterbed. I loved that thing. I loved it. I wish I could have a waterbed now, but it would probably flood my house. We don't have homeowners insurance.
You would hate it after a year.
No, I would love it. My parents liked theirs. Yeah, if you stay in the middle, you're good. But if you sleep on an edge, you know, and two people are on it, you balance each other. Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, every time my mom would get out, my dad would get out, one of them would fall into the crack between the wood frame and the mattress. No, I still love them. I always thought that was just the superest fun thing to do when I was a kid, is get on the bed and just...
You were a kid. Now, you would despise it. Your body
yeah, I probably would.
And you know it.
Yeah. I can't even handle the bed. I have a super ultra fluff pillow top bed, and I hate it. Like, I hate firm mattresses. I can't sleep on anything but pillows. But guess what? Pillow tops are not pillows.
It's your body.
It's my body. It just doesn't like mattresses. I guess I should sleep on the floor. All right. Anyways, nothing else? I don't see anything else. All right, guys. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for watching me make this quilt. Eventually, I will quilt it, and you will see it finished. Next week, I don't know what we're going to be doing, because I never know what to make on a Sew Sunday until Sunday. So it's a secret surprise till you see me next. So talk to you guys later. I'll be on tomorrow with a mail opening sometime. I don't know. Make sure your notifications on. It'll be sometime in the morning. So make sure your notifications are on, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Good night, all.
Later.